Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of I Struggle to Fight This Boss because it's really big and spooky and stuff. We are, as always, super excited to be here, and we're finishing up the last of the Outer Worlds. We need something here. Counteracts gravity, conducts electricity is unknown. So I'm thinking if I give maybe Vigor Max like some science weapons, it's gonna work out well for us. Nyoka should be pretty good with the weapons that she has currently. Yeah, I mean, I think we have the right layout. We just need to get a little bit more funkiness with it. Never anger a man of the cloth. Get him knocked down right off the bat. Hit him with like a cripple and a burn potentially. Going to try to blast him for as much damage as we can make here. Be ready for the robots to spawn, which they do, of course. Oh no, Nyoka's dead? Crap, dude, they got rammed, didn't they? That is, of course, very, very bad. But I believe in miracles. We can at least see where these drones are through the walls a little bit.
Your life was merely an illusion anyway.
Life was merely an illusion anyway. We do have that increased damage to the weak points, which is really, really nice to have. Uh-oh. Okay, everything's fine here. Grab Nyoka. Nyoka's had a drink. She's back on her feet. Ready to pummel. Somehow I feel like there was probably a way to just completely avoid this fight too, if we had enough like sneaky sneak skills, which is hilarious to me. Can you get up, please? Okay, just make sure that we're healed up. Make sure that we get our plasma gun out. Okay, swapping. Get at least one of the drones killed. Pretty good. Just make sure that you stay moving in your circle. So that you, as to not get caught out kind of like that. That's not what you want to see. Combat drone's already injured. Take it out. Just keep moving here. Okay, I think we got one more drone. These like evasive maneuvers that the drones take are insane, dude. Okay, the ram's nearly taken care of here. Go ahead and pop one of these. We have done it. The ram is defeated. We got the hibernation chamber key. Get me out of here. Big hole in the wall? Right. Keep on moving up here.
Why won't you just die?
Oh, I guess you're just people, huh? You were gonna film something? Come on, dude. Chairman's key. Get me out of here, says Wells. And that I will. We're gonna up our hacking skill a little bit. Our snacking skill, yeah, that's what we're gonna up. Sorry. Do gotta unlock. Unlock him. Get me out of here. Achievement unlocked level 30.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved and long overdue.
Okay.
And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough.
You kidding? The board never stood a chance against me.
All in a day's work for you, huh? You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated.
Uh-oh. Great, I was just about to pop open some drinks and celebrate. I don't like the sound of that at all.
Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years.
Uh-oh.
There's been
That's
no
actually really
communication,
bad.
no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
Yikes.
So we've got to make do on our own. Seems to me that'll make us stronger in the end anyhow.
Yeah,
You're
Neoka
quite
knows
right.
what's up.
We've got no choice but to make do on our own.
Earth is only an idea to us. But that idea is the bedrock the colony is built upon. If people were to find out it's gone dark, the shock could be too much to bear.
I don't want to imagine what'll happen once news gets out. Let's just keep this between us for now.
That's
We're
really
in
unfortunate.
serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
We have a lot of work ahead of us. We best get started.
Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me.
Rogoff, I was no
We must
joke.
begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds. And then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time.
Heck
We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
I will gladly. I'm the only competent person left. You can count on me. I'll help you revive the other colonists.
I can't tell you how glad I am to hear that.
It's me, the new king.
When I revived you, I thought we were going to save this colony all by ourselves. But I was wrong. We can't save Halcyon on our own. We're all going to have to pull together, somehow.
We got our
We are
crewmates.
not a colony anymore. Our last connection to Earth has been severed. I don't know if we'll survive, but we're going to have to try our best.
Heck yeah, dude. That might just be the end of it. Here we go.
The
OSI
OSI
teaches...
teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history.
I'm
The
excited for
events on
this.
Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival.
Survival.
Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on.
Nice.
In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. As the colony struggled to survive, the inspirational story of the iconoclasts spread like wildfire, and Graham was able to bring many of the smaller Terra 2 townships into the fold. However, his zealous obsession with spreading the word blinded him to the needs of a growing organization, and the movement was unsustainable at scale. The iconoclast way seemed to work best, and ultimately petered out on Monarch. The collapse of Edgewater left its workers bereft of any purpose in life. Most of them made their way to Adelaide McDevitt's camp, hoping to ingratiate themselves into her favor. Adelaide accepted only a few to her community. The rest were turned away and likely died of starvation.
That's weird.
Nevertheless,
I thought she was going to be more of like accepting of people.
Well-established town. Adelaide McDevitt refused to cooperate with the ongoing effort to save Halcyon from collapse.
What a dick.
A sympathetic deserter stole a copy of her research and delivered it to the Hope's scientists. It is unclear how useful Adelaide's research was. An optimistic estimate suggests her work may have bought Halcyon another few years of survival. Adelaide would never know. She died that winter.
Rude lady, dude.
Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence.
Yeah.
The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers, schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon.
Nice.
While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs.
Oh no.
It was a dark time indeed. Ellie savored her adventures on the Unreliable. Once they were done, she returned to life as usual, running missions of dubious legality, shunning respectable work, and living life to the fullest.
Nice.
She meant to reach out to her one-time captain, but she was always bad at keeping in touch. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony.
That's what it is, dude.
Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands.
Boom.
As much as
Diamond
he
hands.
enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless, unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself. Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace.
Very great.
Though Parvati eventually grew comfortable aboard the Unreliable, she never quite came out of her shell. She seemed to prefer the company of Ada to the crew, and she could often be found neck-deep in cables and grease, telling Ada funny stories from her childhood.
What a cutie.
While the colony fell into chaos, she found an island of relative peace with Ada, and they formed an unusual bond. She
Really?
decided to remain aboard the Unreliable permanently.
I guess we must have
as
not
its
finished her
chief and
storyline
sole
quest, so she didn't
engineer.
end up with Junlei.
Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation.
Very cool.
The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it.
Nice.
As
Good guy.
for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. Though he was always haunted by the failures of his past, he was determined to make things right by building toward the future. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry.
Nice.
Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. The revival project was hard and painful work, but in the end, despite limited resources, over half the Hope's colonists were successfully revived. Even after Wells passed away, the Hope scientists and engineers worked night and day to pull Halcyon from the brink of collapse. Their efforts continue to this day, which may be reason enough for optimism. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Life will never be the same in Halcyon. It is widely agreed that the colony has a chance of stabilizing within a generation, owing to the hard work and determination of the surviving colonists.
That's super sick.
Recovery is a distant goal, and the path is long and uncertain. But the people of Halcyon carry on, determined as ever. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster.
Cute.
The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you.
That's real cute.
No
You're
one
gonna make me
knows what
blush.
happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Beautiful. That's me, and that's The Outer Worlds. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Awesome game. Really awesome game. A classic style of these developers, just fun romp through. Is a really cool world. But yeah, awesome game. Glad to have played it. We'll have to figure out what we're playing next. We've got a couple DLCs coming out for this that we may pick up. We've got maybe some Hollow Knight, maybe some other platforming stuff that we're going to be doing in the future. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube things. That's what YouTube is here to do. My name is Pariahdox. This was our Let's Play of The Outer Worlds. Thank you all so much as always, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.